Hi everybody, so one of the things I've been trying to understand and get my head around for quite a long time is how you can increase the spawn rate of zombies in particular areas. So in this case what you're looking at here is a police station in Chernobyl, where there are a lot of police officer zombies in and around the police station. Now don't worry the fact that I'm jumping from roof to roof like Spider-Man. This is just because I'm doing it on a modded PC server where you can install the community online tools and you can have like God mode. But I just wanted to kind of show you, what you can do. And the idea of being able to increase the spawn rate of zombies in particular areas and particular types of zombies is so you could almost create that horde mode feeling. It was when you go to a particular area, all of a sudden, right, there's a lot of zombies. You know that feeling where sometimes you go into a village and there seem to be a lot of zombies. You're like, whoa, I need to be careful. And also what you'll find down below in the description, I'll put in a couple of links to a couple of interesting articles that I used as well to kind of to look up and research sort of how to do this, discussing how that you could use this in a really interesting way too. Maybe put more military zombies into the game so that when people went to the high loot areas like the military bases, you'd have more military zombies, but maybe you'd have less zombies, say on the coast, near villages and things like that, because there's not that much high loot, is there? So what's the point? So you could almost have like an end game experience. When you get a tizzy, there's lots and lots of zombies there. So there's a couple of really good articles that also go into some of the syntax we use and some of the parameters. But anyway, you can have a look at them in your own time. What you need to do is you need to head on over to your Nitrado server, go into the web interface, and you want to go into the missions file, obviously with Chernobyl. It'd be Chernobyl. If it's Livonia looking, it's Enoch, and then you would click on the missions file. This is a PC Nitrado server, so some of the names are slightly different, and you want to go into the DB folder and you want to download the events.xml file and the globals.xml file. Then you want to go back up a level, and then you want to go into the env folder, and in there down the bottom you want to download the zombie territories.xml file. So you want to download that. You want to make copies of those files on your local PC or laptop so that they're nice and safe, so you've got a backup, and then you want to open them up in your favorite text editor. In this case I've opened them up in Notepad++, and the first file we'll look at is the zombie territories.xml, because this is the one that kind of does the heavy lifting. So what happens is when an event fires, so as you know, in DayZ, the central loot economy is dropping loot into the map, respawning loot, removing damaged loot. And then you've got events that happen as well. So you've got vehicles spawning in, you've got bears spawning in, you've got zombies spawning in, that sort of thing. So when an event is triggered, in this case infected police, the game can look at the zombie territories.xml and it goes, okay, infected police. And this is where it tells the game where that event should take place, where around that event should take place, around those coordinates. And it's saying that you've got smin and smax. Now they're static minimum and static maximum, and then you've got dmin and dmax. This is dynamic min and dynamic maximum of what should be spawning in there. The game currently, as of July 2020, just uses dynamic spawning. So what that means is, as you're actually walking around the map, all the zombies in all the different places, they're not actually wandering around. They only appear when you're getting close to them. So that's why sometimes when you're approaching somewhere and you look through your binoculars, you won't see any zombies, but as you approach, the zombies appear. Or sometimes you'll spawn in after exiting a server, say inside in a town, and there'll be no zombies around you. But as you start to move around the town, the zombies start to appear. It's because your presence on the game, or other players' presence on and in the game, triggers the spawning of the zombies. And with static spawning, they just spawn anyway, but that obviously puts a lot of strain on the server. So we have dynamic spawning. As you can see, I've increased the dmin from I've gone all the way up to 20 and the dmax is 20. Now I don't recommend you do this. I just kind of did this for demonstration purposes. You don't want 20 police zombies around every single police station because it's too many. You know, the game slows down. It's not a fun experience. The zombies sometimes clump up a bit. I'm not saying don't have situations where there's a lot of zombies, but maybe not a police station. I would probably put the minimum at 5 and the maximum at 10. So that most of the time you're just going to come across a handful of zombies, in this case at a police station. But sometimes there could be 10 zombies, you know, and that is a lethal situation if you're not careful, if you make too much noise. So that's what you change. Now, if you have a look at your globals.xml as well, you probably want to go down to where it says zombies max count and increase this. The zombies max count only really triggers on high pop servers where you've got lots of players wandering around, triggering lots of events that are triggering lots of zombie spawns. And it's basically saying when you get to this amount, don't spawn any more zombies. The server will probably have slowed down quite a lot by then, but I've put mine up to 1500 just in case. And then we have the events file, events.xml. Now this is the one that's probably got the most debate over what it actually does and what the numbers actually do. So, you know, with infected police, we have 50 different events that should be going on all the time. They just pop in and out of existence really quickly unless there's a player there. And then the children of this event, what this event triggers are zombies, the zombie policewoman, the zombie policeman, and the zombie special forces policeman. And as I said, you know, we've changed it so that in this case there should be 20 of them spawning in. Now what we're not quite sure is what these numbers mean, the min. Now I think they relate to the fact that of these types of events, there should be that number or a minimum of that number of type of zombies. I think. It's a bit weird because there isn't a max. It could be because it's saying that let the spawning in of the events control the max. Don't worry about the max. But what I've done anyway, I've gone from 40 to 80 on both of those two, and I've changed the minimum from 10 to 20 on the policeman special forces just to make sure it works. I've left it alone with the vanilla amounts in, and it still worked there. But one of the problems we have is that my servers, for example, are very low population servers. So there's not much chance of several people being next to police stations at the same time. However, if you're running a high pop server, you may find that people start to say, well, actually, I was near a police station or a military base, wherever you decide to adjust the zombies. And in fact, there weren't more zombies spawning in. In fact, there were no zombies spawning in because maybe we've reached some sort of limit with these figures here. So you'll have to see how that goes. Now, as I said, with these articles as well, Repzaz1234 does some good stuff. What he explains at the bottom here, he talks about changing the distance radius as well to make these make the zombies basically spawn in closer together, so you'd have more of a horde experience. But trust me, even in that simple example at the beginning of the video where you're looking down at those 10 zombies, when you're up close and personal with 10 zombies, that is definitely a horde. 20 zombies is just like, you know, it's like something out of 28 Days Later. It's really, really, really good. But then again, the game starts to clunk. The game starts to slow down. And you know, your FPS goes through the floor. So there we go. That's how you increase the zombies in particular places. You know, you go up, change. You've got infected village. You could change all those. As you can see, you know that there are particular coordinates for all of these, so you can change particular ones. In fact, if you're really dedicated to it, if you go and look at this article, you can click through, and this guy has actually created another XML file where he puts the descriptions of where all these places are. So what you could then do is you could then go into these files and just increase the dmin and dmax on particular places, like just at Tizzy or Northwest Airfield. There we got the infected religious. You could have more monks or vicars running after you. Infected solitude, and then the zombies that spawn in the cities. Then you've got your events, which, as I'd say, I would double these numbers here. Double the mins. And then you've got your globals that you might want to put up to, I don't know, I've put mine up to 1500. But there we go. Hopefully this is useful. Hopefully it helps you increase the number of zombies in places where you want them to be. If you've enjoyed the video, if you want to see more of the same, press subscribe. Thank you very much, and I'll see you again soon.